if you don't know, I left my husband a year ago. And I've been wanting to come on here and give a life update of a year from now and what my life looks like. And I've been hoping that I would be able to come on here and tell you guys that life is just fucking great. But it's not. It's still really hard. I wanted to have my shit more together. I know that this isn't the truth, but I just feel like I'm failing so much as a mom. I know that that's not the truth, you know?
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
But life is so fucking hard. I just got to spend 11 and a half hours with my baby, and it was just the most sweetest time. I hate that I feel this way, but I miss my mom so much. I miss my baby. Life is not where I want it to be a year later.
So to sum it all up, guys, like what she is speaking about here is the structure. It's gone. She had way more structure when she was in a relationship. She had she said she misses her mom. I don't know if she's RIP. She misses the child. I don't know if this guy has custody. I don't know. She's being very vague in what she's saying, and I'm just trying to put the pieces together. But she's figuring it out. Like I just said, there is no structure. And who's going to want to deal with you with a baby, you with the ex-husband? The next guy's going to be like, you're going to treat me exactly the same way. You had a kid with this guy, you're not with him. You were married to this guy, you were not with him, like right now. So if I get married to you, if I take you serious, I lose.
Guy friend of mine that I've known for a very long time said to me the other day, Sevda, why is it you're still single? You've been single for a good few years now, and you're good people. It's like, if there's something about you that I don't know, like, it must be you. The way my blood started boiling, how dare you say to me, it's because of you? Do you know what? Yeah, it is because of me. It's because I'm very particular of who I bring around my child. That's why.
I think what your male friend in this situation is trying to say is, how could you get pregnant by a man, but you can't keep one? Or how come you can't keep the man or get with the man unless he's, buried, dead, or in jail? How come you can be with him? And why are you sitting up here single as a single baby mom? It's a L. He's pretty much telling you this is an L without telling you.
Yes, I do date people, but they don't meet my kids. They don't just be meeting my kid and come around my family. No. We have to be very careful with who we bring around our children and in our home. Okay, the wrong man can mash up your life. Mash up your life. Bring trauma to you and your children. Do you know what these men can do? Abusing you in front of your kids. Not treating you right in front of your kids. And I've got a little girl as well. A little girl that's impressionable and is looking up to me. And that's why I am single.
Incorrect, ma'am. I have to just say this. Like, the reason why you're actually single is because you make bad decisions and you are not trustworthy enough. And this is why men need to lead women. Because when women make their own decisions, women have, their own autonomy. They get in a situation like this where they have two kids single, and where's the baby fathers? How come you're not with them? So clearly you're the unbearable one here. Clearly you're the one that tries to snipe the situation and be like, oh no, I'm going to play it safe this time, when you weren't playing it safe when you gave up your box to just anybody who's not around. If you gave up your box to a guy, the most prized possession that you have, the reason why men deal with you, and you gave it away to a guy and you can't even stay with the guy after you have his kids, that's why you're single.
Going viral right now, and unfortunately some of you women in the comments are making me side with the men, so let's have a chat. If you're my mom, keep scrolling, and I'm not kidding, please keep scrolling. The video is about putting out on a Saturday morning and getting a bunch of chores done because my husband likes my poo nanny power. All right, the amount of women in the comments saying, I cannot believe you have to do that. Baby, I don't have to do anything. Newsflash, some women like getting their guts stirred before the sun has risen. You understand what I'm saying to you? Some women enjoy it. It's a win-win for me, baby. I get D-served to me on a platter. I ain't got to lift a fucking finger. I don't even got to move my body from the bed that I am in. And shit is getting done around the house. Now, would my husband be doing that shit anyways? Absolutely. But now he's got pep in his step, and I got pep in mine too. If you feel like you have to do it, baby, you find a new partner. Not me. All right? I have never in my life with my husband had to do it. It has never been a chore to me, because when my mental state is not there, if I've got too much going on in my life, in my mind, My husband doesn't make me do nothing. And if yours is, baby, that's a you problem. That is a you problem. And to the men commenting, it's either the nanny or the nanny. May that love never find me.
Now think about that last clip and think about this clip. This is the exact reason why women with this attitude on this clip we just went through are in relationships with guys and they wake up next to them. And then you have women that are the opposite and they don't even wake up next to anybody but their children, diapers, bottles, and a messy house that they refuse to clean up because they ain't got no help.
No hate to this commenter whatsoever, but I do think it's interesting that I made a video about how women shouldn't have to change their last names when they get married. And now I have hundreds of women in my comments defending their decision to take their husband's name. All I want to say is that you don't have to defend it because it's already the norm. The vast majority of women take their husband's name. Everybody's doing it. And more than just being the norm, it is expected of you. You will receive zero pushback when you decide to take your husband's name. You know who does receive a ton of pushback? Women who want to keep their own name. Women who keep their own names receive pushback from their husband's families, sometimes their own families. They'll get pushback from society. They will receive gifts that say Mr. and Mrs. John Smith. The societal pressure for women to erase their identities in favor of their husbands and become completely self-sacrificial for their marriage is already well enforced. There is an entire patriarchal system set up around you to make sure that you take your husband's name. So there is absolutely no reason to defend something that is not at risk. I already said this in my first video, but if you took your husband's name, I have no judgment for you. I understand that there is an immense amount of pressure on women to take their husband's name, but I'm here trying to defend women who want to take a path that might be more difficult. That's great that you wanted to take your husband's name, but some women don't.
I really can't argue this point enough because she's just proving that, the patriarchy is a beautiful thing and they've done great things. And this is one of the greatest things is allowing women to go into that system or go and be in delusional land and la la land and believe that it's a patriarchal system. And the women that get into relationships and take the man's last name don't love, don't admire, and don't actually respect the guy, then yeah, go ahead, keep your name. But the point of taking the man's name is because the woman wants to take the man's name. The man's name holds some type of high regard. And that's the best honor is to get that man's last name, especially if he's a guy of substance. But women like you who don't truly love, admire, respect your men will treat a simp, will treat a beta male or a guy who's just trying to give away his commitment for absolutely merely nothing but you existing. Yeah, that may apply to them. But to the women who actually love, admire, and respect them, they're going to take the man's last name. And you will if you find a man that you actually truly love, is not a pushover simp doormat. Oh, you falling in line too, ma'am. So, yeah, it's just hilarious that we're hearing about this patriarchal system. This is stuff back from 2022. I thought we left that back there because clearly she hasn't updated her software.
I've always gotten the vibe from even when I was young, from when I was 15, that liberal women don't like women. I'd go as far to say that liberal feminists hate women. I think a lot of them hold so much internalized misogyny that they have managed to pivot the movement from fighting for women's freedom and empowerment to fighting for social approval. Like, it's so obvious to me that they have an arsenal of insults to discredit women. None for men. Liberal feminists aren't fighting for you or me. They're not fighting for women. They're not fighting for women's empowerment, women's safety, women's rights. They don't care about that. I believe that these women, liberal feminists, are fighting for their own social status. If a woman's pain, boundaries, safety conflicts with their views, their ideology, they would sacrifice her in a heartbeat. Because social approval is a currency, right? And the more you signal that you are open-minded, progressive, left-leaning, defending the oppressed, the more status you gain in liberal spaces. Because the truth is, you don't get any social reward from defending women. For example, I get comments sometimes from white progressives saying that I'm a bigot for talking about my experience with the non-Western religions. Because by siding with me and defending me, they don't gain anything from that. But defending a non-Western religion that they perceive the groups of people that are in them are oppressed, well, they get some points for that. And for liberal feminists to maintain their social status, they need to attack and police other women that don't conform. They don't attack misogynists or genuine abusers because that won't rise. Attacking men will never raise your social status. Attacking women, though. Like, these women are not activists. They don't care about improving my life or your life. They need praise and validation and to feel morally superior. And most of all, male validation. Because like I said, progressive liberal women, especially the white ones, do not defend women, do not advocate for women's rights. They advocate for their own social status within progressive spaces at the expense of actual women. The worst part, some of them don't even realize.
A lot of men think it's really sad and lonely that I live by myself as a woman when I'm the first woman within my family tree to fully have the ability to do so within her lifetime.
Put a finger down if you dated a F-list celebrity since 2021. You know, you guys had your back and forths on and off, but at the end of the day, you guys always came back to each other and talked about building a life and having kids, and you showed him unconditional love 24/7. You took care of his daughter like she was your own. Meanwhile, all of this stuff is going on. His brother had a baby and was dating a very, very, very famous child star actress, now adult, and they were going through their legal drama publicly, and her mother came out accusing your boyfriend of being an abuser, a narcissist, evil, every horrible thing you can think of. And all the while he's in your apartment hiding from people serving him, like law papers serving him. He's crying in your apartment about how everyone's trying to say that his character is like they've got him all wrong and none of these things are true. And because you're so in love with this guy, you believe every single thing that he says. He's been manipulating you this whole entire time.
I disagree with that because women are the masters of manipulation. And even in this situation with this so-called F-list celebrity, she was trying to manipulate a situation for herself. So she was manipulating him the whole time. Women can manipulate at a higher rate, and their bargaining chips to manipulate are already on them naturally. Men, you would have to have more discovery. A woman would have to get to know a man unless he's out there boasting and showing off that he's that type of man so he can draw in the attention. But women typically are the arbiters, and pretty much they dominate manipulation at a far younger age because they get attention at a far younger age than men do, which have to show and prove social status. So that doesn't make any sense. Like the women saying, oh, he manipulated me. How? You were trying to manipulate him the whole time. That's why you got with this so-called F-list celebrity instead of a regular Joe that was working at Starbucks.
Flash forward end of 2024, December 2024, you finally get tired of all of the back and forth, the up and down, the highs and the lows with this guy. So you write him an email that basically says, I cannot do this any longer. Please leave me alone. You know, I don't want the family that we discussed. You know, I know that it's going to happen eventually. It's going to happen separately. Go on with your life. You know, this is just too much for me. He calls you. Why did you send that email? You go, it's pretty self-explanatory. So he basically tells you, let's work on us. Like, let's try again. Like, I see a future with you. All of these things convince you all over again. And because you love this man deeply.
I like you, man. You lie a lot.
She didn't love him deeply. She was losing control of the situation. That's why she created that email, and he was dumb enough to bite on it, because if a woman left me an email and I'm some type of any celebrity A to Z, I'm not even hitting that chick up. She's getting ghosted. She's going to be coming back to the house trying to bang on the door and, you know, send people up. She's going to be working for my attention. And that's the thing, guys. She was losing control in this situation. She doesn't deeply love him. She's manipulating him to get that response so she can get the control, because clearly he's not doing what she wants him to do.
Convince you all over again. And because you love this man deeply, you agree. So now you're hanging out, and now it's top of 2025. It's January, and you're thinking, okay, we're working together. Like, this is the love of my life. No relationship is easy. Whatever. He wants to be here. I want to be here. Cool. We start watching a show one day, and we're watching this TV show, like a medical TV show, and there's a child that comes in to get an abortion. And I look at him, and he looks a little funny. So I'm like, are you okay? Like, is the show too queasy? He pauses the TV and tells you, I have to tell you something. Immediately, you start to shake, and you feel sick to your stomach, because the only thing this man could possibly tell you after all of his cheating and lying and scamming and everything else he's done is that he has a new baby coming.
You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. Y'all heard it.
Ding, 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 ding. That's exactly what he told me, except for he said back in 2021, he gave his sperm to a sperm bank to this woman. She froze his sperm since 2021 and then randomly decided to unfreeze it without his knowledge and insert it in herself. And now she was waiting to see if she was pregnant. Mind you, I've been with this man since 2021 and he's never mentioned such thing because it is a lie. This man is such a liar that he couldn't even fess up and say, hey, when we were broken up for 3 days, I went and I had schmegs with someone else. So he concocted this crazy, bizarre lie that he donated his sperm. I asked to see a contract. I asked to see the woman. He would not show me any of these things except saying, I don't owe you an explanation. I'm not going to defend myself. You need to believe what I'm saying. I'm distraught. I'm crying. And then it becomes physical. After this man blows up and tells me that I'm nothing, that I will never be anything, looks around my apartment. Mind you, this man hasn't worked in months because Hollywood doesn't want to deal with him. His name has been smeared, and so has his brother. After he's taken money from you, he continues to tell you that you're going to be nothing. I've been supporting the man. And all of these things, then he resorts to hitting you. And this was not the first time. This was the second. Didn't tell any of my family or friends about this stuff because I thought I could handle it.
Cap.
Now with the album, are you paying attention to what people are saying about it?
So, yes, after I've been cheated on, lied to, publicly embarrassed, everyone and their mother knows that this man is awful. But yet, somehow, he gets invited to all of these Hollywood parties and people rave about him because he's a narcissist and he's wearing a mask. He's wearing a mask and, you know, I saw him that day for who he truly was and he didn't like it and he didn't like the things that I had to say, so he resorted into hitting me. Yeah, so put a finger down if you went through that.
I just thought about something. Everything that this woman said, that, in a negative light, all these things about him being a narcissist and being an F-list celebrity, and just, the things that she's going to start running down the list about in these stories that she's about to bring up, these are all traits that she's actually aroused and attracted to. Like, women never put the pieces together. These guys that you deal with, the people that you deal with, and you make excuses for, and you claim that they're narcissists, these are all guys that you are actually attracted to. These are guys you want to end up with. So all this mess is not really on the man. It's on you because this is the mess that you're attracted to. That's why you attract it and you get aroused by it and you end up in situations with guys who have those attributes.